Hey world, it's being able to come back to my video. I want to come back to this video because I know a lot of times, you don't get or you don't see information that's out there that can actually affect you. And remember, things that affect you are things that affect you economically, politically, and socially. Now, being here in Texas, since the Arctic blast, we had a lot of people lose power. We had a lot of people die because of the cold. A lot of people whose electric bills have been, skyrocketed, right? And they don't talk about that at all, right? It's as if it just disappeared. As if all those people that have all that damage, that had all that damage during the Arctic blast, the water pipes bursting, and thousands of homes, hundreds of companies, right? They don't even talk about that anymore, right? But then you have all this money coming to state governments and federal governments that's not giving it back to the people. And all this money that's coming back is taxpayers' money, right? It's a lot of people still hurting right now. You dig? But when I say things are not as transparent as they will be politically, socially, and economically, is because, like, say, here in Texas, for instance, the two main bills about to be passed is the open carry bill, where you can carry a weapon, right? And the heartbeat bill, where abortions will be outlawed after 6 weeks. After you can detect a heartbeat, you can no longer get abortions in Texas. And right now you have the open carry bill sitting on the governor's desk waiting to be signed. But these are the things that, like they're doing now. But you're not hearing about any, help or aid for all those people that suffered during this Arctic blast we had in Texas. The only pretty much the benefit that we got was, you don't have to file your taxes to June 15th, right? So we got to June 15th to file taxes, but what that mean? And I'm gonna be honest with your family. I don't know if this is gonna get my video struck or not, but I just kind of want to give you an analogy, like a metaphor of my interpretation of taxes, in regards to, a certain group of people that were voted into an office that hired different people to come in and decide this how much of a person's personal income we need to take from them per their check, which is called an income tax. Someone you don't even know is determining how much they want to take from your check, regardless of how much work you do, regardless of how important you are to the company, regardless of how much revenue or profit you bring to the company. There's a certain group of people in the federal government that decides this is how much money we want to take from this person. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's called the marginal tax rate. And if you don't know what tax bracket you're in, check that out. It's called the marginal tax bracket, where if you're making from $0 to $20,000, there's a certain amount of tax you have to pay. From 20 to 65,000, from 65,000 to 100,000. So there's a bracket, right? So you can actually see in advance how much taxes you're gonna have to pay. And you have to ask yourself, who decided that? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. So it's like, I want to give this example of what I feel taxes are. And I was just talking to my homeboy G about this. It's like, I see some people that are homeless, and I go up and I see them. Man, I feel bad, right? But I don't have to change on me to help them out. So what I do, I go down the street, and I see this guy get in this car, and I rob him at gunpoint. And I said, "Give me your money." And I take his money, and he had like $500 on. So I take his $500. I take the $500, and then I go back to the homeless people, right? And I give the money to them to try to help them out. You know what I mean? Because nobody's helping them, right? Now, that would be a crime. I mean, right? That's a crime. But I equate that to taxes in a way, because you have someone else coming and taking your money and giving it to somebody else, i.e., the welfare system, where you have housing, where you have food stamps, Social Security, disability benefits. Someone else is taking your money, giving it to foreign countries, i.e., countries that billions of dollars are going to, that we just, because I don't remember agreeing to that. To me, that's a crime. So if I rob somebody and take someone's money and give it to someone else that need it, that's a crime. But for the government to just come right in and just arbitrarily say, okay, we're gonna take your money and then we're gonna, give it to certain other groups. That's not how that's supposed to go. You did? That's not how that's supposed to go. When you have a system designed where everybody can have some sense of employment. Now, don't get it twisted. I understand that, when you pay revenue, you have to pay revenue to make sure that the system works for everybody, right? But when you can't decide how much money that you put back for yourself in your Social Security and your pension, to me, that's kind of problematic. You can say, okay, if I make this certain amount of money, I gotta pay this a percentage in taxes. But I can't say, okay, I make this certain amount of money, I want to put this amount back in Social Security. No, it's capped off. And if you don't even know what I'm talking about, Social Security is capped off, where they take 6% of your money, of your check, and then the company takes 6% of their check. So it's like 12% that goes to your Social Security. That's not a lot of money if you think about it, especially if you're a low wage earner. After 30, 40 years, and if you've only been having 12%, that's not a lot of money in Social Security. That's why Social Security on average is about $1,300, $1,400 a month. Who can live off of that when inflation increases almost 2% every year? So like in 5 years, that's like 10% increase in all goods and services, but your Social Security stays the same. That's why most people go into poverty. Or most people have to, after they start getting Social Security, they have to get another job. But even if they get another job, it's capped off to a certain salary. You can't make a certain amount of money, or you get taxed a lot of, your Social Security get taxed. It's crazy. But these are, when you talk about politicians, these people are voted into office and they make these laws. The tax code shouldn't be that difficult to understand. You're talking about 10, 15, 20,000 pages on the tax code. It shouldn't be that difficult. A certain percentage should come out of your check to go to taxes. But then you should be allowed to take a certain percentage out of your check to go towards your retirement. That's just how it's supposed to go. People shouldn't be taking, money from Social Security to pay them when they can't work. You did? All right, family. We're going to come back with a food for thought. Make sure you take care of your retirement, because if you just depend on Social Security or a pension, remember, they're dictating how much you can save or put back. And if you didn't hear about the latest news, family, right now Biden had, proposed where the U.S. Treasury can have access to your savings and checking accounts. In the event that you owe taxes, they'll be able to go right into your checking account or your savings account and take the money out. So I would definitely probably try to invest in a safe and keep some money at home, because this is, to me, this is crazy. All right, so pay yourself first, and in the meantime, between time, may the Most High to bring you joy and being with us out of 5,000.